things you haven't heard before.
Hi. Sorry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, they got. We don't have viewers yet, but that's okay. We can start. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So the reason why we do live stream today is we decided to talk about happiness. And what do you think? Why are we talking about happiness tonight?
We just talked about what we should talk about, right? And you want to make a live stream with me, and I don't know much about many things, but there's a few things I know something about. I know something about making film, and I know something about why human beings doing what they're doing, because that have been an interest in the most of my life.
Yep.
It have in big part of my life I've been interested in why people are doing what they're doing, and why some people are very, very happy and some is very, very miserable. And I think that happiness is one of the most important things in a human life, and therefore it's worth talking about. And I think when we see in our media and so, there's not many who talk about how you get a good life. How do you get happy? And it should really be something we talk a lot more about.
But what is that? We're actually thinking. What is it? I actually pressured to use.
Why?
I don't know. Even though we are husband and wife, I feel. Okay. Why? What do you think? Why we're talking about happiness? I mean, do you have experience like in what? Because like as I've known you, you said before you what is that write something about happiness. It's just I want to have that copy, but you said you don't have that copy. But yeah.
Yeah, I use a lot of time about studying why some people is very happy and why some people is very misery. And it's always interesting me to see that there is some people who have like everything in life, right? They have fans, they have money, they have family, they have everything you could dream about, and they're still miserable, and they still doing drugs and ending up doing suicide. Why is they ending up like that? And then you can see when we come like to Philippines, to your home country, and we see people who have like nothing. They have one set of clothes. They're living in in a house built out of what they can find on the street. They have absolutely nothing, and
Yeah.
they are still so happy. And that have always interested me. Why people? What is it go wrong for the one who have everything is still miserable, and
Yeah.
what the one who's super poor do right? Because the interesting thing is that no matter where you are in this world, there is things, um, strategies, things you can do that will make you happy, and the things you can do that will make your life very horrible. And it's just about finding out the techniques that can make your life very very good, that can make you happy, and avoid the things that make you sad.
Yeah, because you have talked about it before that in Philippines you amaze how the poor people in Philippines, but they are like happy and smiling. I mean, you're really amazed to that one.
Yeah, of course. When you see people, when I come here from a Western world where we have two cars and a big house, and everything. Every child have an iPhone and a computer and television on their rooms and everything, and people is still stressed. People is still feeling terrible, and then you see the people there sitting there and having absolutely nothing, and they are happy. We have
Yeah.
this expression in Danish called lykkelig, and that means
Yeah.
you have this higher level of happiness where you just really enjoying life, enjoying everything that uh, you are happy, right? um, and it's just interesting to see. And I have looked through a lot of different techniques and a lot of psychology and things to try to figure out what is it that make that difference. What is it that do? What is to make this person happy, and what make them sad? I saw for not a long time ago an interview with Dalai Lama, the Buddhist, what do you call that, the top of the Buddhism, right?
Yeah, Buddhism. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said that you can sit in a paint house, and the only thing you're thinking about is to find a window you can jump out of. And you can sit in a basement and be the happiest person in the world. So it's not the life circumstances that depends if you are happy or not. It's about what meaning you give your life, and the things that happens in your life, in your life. I mean, you can have, um, you're gonna have a woman who get raped, and she need to get that experience a meaning. Everything that happens in our world, we need to give a meaning, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you need to give it a meaning, and it have very very big impact what meaning you give these things will happen. If you um if you just a minute, I'm just gonna do, if you give, if a woman who get raped give it that meaning that she can never in her life trust men again, that she can never be happy, never go out on the door again, then that will have a big impact on her life. But if she give it that meaning that now she gonna fight for that, then that never ever gonna happen for anyone, that she gonna be the one who makes sure that that never ever gonna happen for any woman, then will have a lot of different impact. It will There will be a lot more energy in that meaning.
Yeah. And can I just select this one? Hello, Nick Pixel TV. They said this is for videographer friend Jacob and Rona Vlog. So this is for you, Nick Pixel TV. And thank you guys for coming here to our stream. You are all actually feel to like ask question, or if you don't have ano ba yun? Pag may hindi kayo naintindihan ba, if you don't understand anything, so you can just ask there and say something. But can you explain me, because they say that Denmark is the happiest country of the world. Can you explain that why? Because we're talking about happiness, and then Denmark is one of the happiest country of the world.
Yeah, we have been. Yeah, you make this these polls of countries all over the world, And in a lot of years, we have been the most happy country in the entire world. And I think one of the reasons is that we have a lot of security here, right? We have free schools, we have free roads, we have free hospitals. We are very equal. There's not much different from the poorest to the richest.
Mm.
And I think that is one of the reasons of why we feel happy. But I'm also a little. I'm not sure that this post is really right because
Oh, Danny say something that is not right. Then what?
I don't. I think that we feel most secure in the world, and of course, to feel secure is a very important part of being happy. That if you cannot be happy if you not feel secure, but I'm pretty sure that we are one of the most secure people in the world. But I'm not sure if we are the the happiest people in the world.
Yeah. And then what do you think why a lot of people end up miserable?
I think a lot of people ending up miserable because, and I mean, if you're gonna be if you have a depression, it's
Mm.
actually quite difficult to be depressed because you're gonna do a lot of things with your body. You're gonna do a lot of things with your thoughts, and so you need to speak in a certain way, move in a certain way, think in a certain way to obtain so strong feelings as a depression is. And the same is with the happiness. You need to do and move and think and talk in a special way to be really really happy. So if you're gonna describe a depressed man standing outside your door, I'm pretty sure you can describe how this depressed man will be, right? I am pretty sure if I says, is he does he stand straight up, right? Do he how do he breathe? How do he talk? Do he talk slowly or do he talk with really with power in? So
Mm.
you know that, and every human being will know that because we have all, in smaller, bigger part, been there. We all try to have a bad day, feel bad, and maybe without knowing why, but we can just feel that that was not our day, right? And in the same way, we have days where everything we touch just was get success. Everything was just perfect, and when when you do certain things with your body, you will affect your thoughts, and when
Yeah.
you think certain things, you will do certain things with your body. So if I begin to think negative thoughts, I will begin to talk slower, and I will begin to move slower, and I will begin to feel bad and think bad, right? But if I want to be happy, I need to move more rapidly, I need to talk more rapidly, I need to breathe differently, and that's the way you can affect your body, right?
Yeah.
If you have negative thoughts, you can do different with your body, and you will have more positive thoughts. And if you feel bad in your body, you can begin to think, and then you will move differently, right? Um, but the reason people ending up in a negative place have a lot to do with what we talked about just before, that what meaning do you give things, and a lot about focus, because your brain function a lot like a camera, right? That you can who have a focus on something. So if you go to a party and you using this camera only focusing on two people who fighting over in the corner, you will go from that party and says, "Oh, that was a horrible party. Everybody was
Yeah.
fighting." And if you instead of focusing on two people who sitting and kissing in the couch, you will say, "Oh, everybody just loving each other there, right?" So
Yeah.
it has a lot to do with what you're focusing on in your life. And we have a tendency to focus on this little dirt who lying in the corner in our room and then make it very big in our brains. That is horrible because we only focus on these things. So when you do that a long time, you will be depressed. And of course, if you only looking at the media every day and thinking, oh, the world is terrible, and you only
Mm.
focus on these things, then you will begin to feel bad. And a way to get out of these negative feelings is to um, is to reframe. I mean, when here in the Western world, right, we come out there and we see our bicycle is punctured, right, and you think,
Yeah.
oh, that's horrible. That's my entire life is fucked up now. I come wrong. I come late to work, and everything is fucked. My boss will be angry, and so. But if you reframe it, I think, yeah, that would probably happen, but you are not sitting in African refugee camp, right, where you
Yeah.
can see your child die of hunger. So compared to that, you do not have problems. You
Yeah.
Human beings have problems. Every human being on the entire world have problems. The only one who not have problems is the one on the graveyard.
Yeah, that's true. And because sometimes I'm schooling, and then sometimes when I feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, you always build me up, like you need to not think so much about what is that question you said, I need to change what
Perspective,
question.
right? You
Yeah.
need to change perspective because and perspective is the same as reframing, right? You're reframing things. If you have focused too much on one problem and think this is the entire problem, and I think you come from a country who is extremely poor, and you have lived here in Denmark now for what, 6 7 years,
uh, Almost 7 years.
almost 7 years,
June.
right? And
Mm.
you are already beginning to forget where you come from. Sometimes you're really forgetting that you were
Yeah, you
coming
said that to
from.
me sometimes.
Yeah, because that we do, if we not remind ourselves of and being grateful for what we have. And it's very difficult to be grateful because you get used to that you have your computer, you get used to that you have your car, you get used to that you have your house, you used to that your children running around. They sometimes they irritating because now they're shouting and so. But if you're reframing this as it says, oh, would you rather have they not there? You would say, no, of course I love them. Yeah, but that is actually possible because there is people with whose kids is dying, right? There is people sitting in African refugee camps, and you can say, I mean, you cannot compare these things.
Yeah, I say that.
This so
Yeah,
different.
I have my needs also. I have a needs to be
Yeah,
sometimes
but you can
feel.
compare these things because this is still human beings who's sitting in African refugee camps. The only reason that you and I not sitting there is because we're lucky and been born in this part of the world. But there is human beings sitting there, and we just gonna and when you put your problems in and compare them with these people, you think, oh, I have the perfect life, and then you can feel grateful again, and then you can your problems is not so hard anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel guilty that sometimes, but I must say, I'm human. Sometimes I feel sad, or I feel like, oh, what's happening? This, of course, I'm human. I have a
Yeah,
feelings.
and that's the interesting part because that is human to do. That is human to focus on these things. But this is techniques to try to grab yourself in these things, and says, "Oh, this is not so terrible. I can see that if I frame it, if I compare it to what people how people living around the world. My problems is nothing, right? Yeah, you can see we have around what is it, the 42 million people who live as slaves in this world, not in as real slaves. Kids down to 5 years and up to grown up people who living in this world as slaves. And when we compare our problems to some of their problems,
It's
you will suddenly think, okay, I have a wonderful life. I love my life. Uh, this is perfect. I can handle these small problems. Yeah, maybe the boss will be irritated, but he was already he will be irritated no matter what, right?
Yeah, that's true. And then they say, worry not. Janice V said, worry not, and that's what drives me these days. What can you say about it? Have you worried a lot of things, kid?
And the fun thing about worries, and I think there's a lot of people worrying out in this world right now because of all this coronavirus and shops is closing, and
And
where
then
will
the
our economy
economy.
be, and so. But we're always gonna think of what is the worst thing that can happen. And when you think of, oh, the worst thing can probably be that I ending up here and here, you say, but when you have the worst circumstances, will you be able to live in that? Will you be able to fight your way out of that? Will you be able to accept that worst situation? And when you ending up says, oh yeah, I think I can live with that. That is not so horrible. Um, then you can relax yourself, say, okay, that is the worst circumstances. And then you
Mm.
also can look at and say, okay, these worries you have right now, how big is the chance that they will be real? Because most of us is worrying about something that never will happen. We worrying when we sit up in a flight, right, and say, "Oh, we'll hope it not crash." But reality is that there is so many people, much larger percentage who get killed in the traffic every day, and we going out in the traffic without no problems. Says, "Oh yeah, we just gonna go to school, we gonna go to work," not thinking of it. But when we get out of our normal um,
Comfort zones, what they
yeah,
call.
and then we suddenly get afraid and worried. But there's nothing really to worry about, because statistic is that there will not happen anything. And you can say, if it happens, what will you do? If you sit in a crashing plane, there's nothing much to do. So
Then you will be dead.
you will probably be dead, right? But therefore you're sitting up in this flying machine, and you must just accept that is the worst that can happen, and I cannot do anything about it. Why then worry? If there's something I cannot control, right?
Control, yeah.
I can worry that it will be snow tomorrow, but I cannot really do anything about it. So why should I use my time on worrying it? But
But
things I can control, things I can do things about, I must say, okay, what is the worst circumstances I can happen? Can I accept that? Okay, I can accept it. Then what can I do that I will not end up there? And when I take actions not ending up there, then I can relax again and stop worrying about things.
that's so true. And then I have this question also. Did we
Hmm?
see? Why? What people should do to make feel happy to their self?
Yeah, it's very interesting because you can see that if you happiness can be obtained in many level, and happiness is like when I said a depression, that's something you're really gonna train on, because it's difficult. It's something you're gonna like like when you go down and train your muscles, right? You give them what you call that, you lift heavy things, and therefore your muscle get
Big.
big and beautiful, right? In
Yeah.
life, when you get what do you call that in English? When you get pushed, right, a little by life, you can also train your mind to overcome these things, and then you will get a big and beautiful mind. But so most important thing is that you every day training in being grateful, training in reframing your problems, so you can see that is not um, our problems is probably not so big, and it's fun to handle these problems if you just look at them the right way. But you cannot just go there and says, be happy, be happy, be happy, be happy, because
And then don't do anything. So I think
they will not you will just try to brainwash yourself, and they will not really move anywhere. But if you can go every day and actually be grateful, use time every day on being grateful, repeating in your mind that what you're grateful for, and there is always something to be grateful for, at least just to be alive, that the sun is shining or something. But for most of us, we have a lot of things. I'm grateful for that I'm married to you. I'm grateful for our kids. I'm grateful for our house, our car, my dog. I'm grateful for the opportunities I have in my work. And so there's a lot of things to be grateful for, and if I not repeat them in my head every day, they will just be be everyday life. I will not notice them. So we focus on these things. Like when you go down and train your muscles, then you focus on doing that. You're using time on doing that, and therefore you get big and beautiful muscles. If you training your mind, you will get a bigger, beautiful mind. But it's also something you're gonna do every day. It's like you're not going and brush your teeth one time and then it says, now I have brushed my teeth for the whole life, right? Not shower one time in life and then you never shower again. You shower every day, and that's the same here. You need to like refresh your mind and to be able to stay positive. But there's also um, that is the one thing. That is the everyday thing you need to do to be positive. But we can all sit in situations where we sit and says, "Oh, I'm just so frustrated. I'm so depressed, and you don't know why you are." And one way to change your feelings is to change your emotions, because as we talked about just before, if you think something that's negative, you will affect your body. If your body if you move wrongly, you will affect your brain. So these two things is combined. So if you
Yeah.
feel bad, you can begin to move differently. If you move differently, your brain will feel differently, and if you're really gonna be good, you're gonna try to train yourself a little. There's a little interesting um, thing you can do. If you stand up and if you try to remember one of the times where you really was depressed, super super depressed, and figure out how were you moving, how were you talking, how were
Yeah.
you breathing, what were you saying to yourself inside your head to get in this depressed feeling. Because when you recognize that, you can recognize when you begin to do some of the negative things, and then you're gonna shake up your body, and then you're gonna think of one of the times that you really was super super happy, then everything was just a success, not whatever you touch was a success, where you really feel that you have the power to do everything. Then find out how were you moving, how were you talking, what were you saying to yourself in your head, how were you breathing, and then you can recognize what is the pattern in your body to be super super happy. Because then you can do some of these things, and when you do some of these things, you will feel the positive feelings. That's actually how simple it is to do. It's just a little complicated to learn, but
Yeah.
it is that you're gonna practice these things, right? Because you can try it out and say, "Oh, this is difficult." Yeah, but it was also difficult to tie your shoes once, right? But
Like
you
uh,
that
like as you said to me before, like when I'm super duper sad and stressed about happening to school, and then I said I feel sad, I don't know why. And then you always said to me, you need to move, you need to do something else and something like that.
and did
That's
it
you
work?
always. Yeah, it really works. It really works. Like if you're just lying down there in your sofa and feel bad to yourself, and then feel like, oh, I'm sad today, I'm not feel good today, then it will continue like you've been sad, sad, sad. But if you just do a little bit to your body that makes you happy or make some energy, then it really works. There's a question here. They said, Rana, question. Ask he, Rana, ask he, what does he worry about?
What I worry about?
Yeah.
I don't think I worry about much in my life because I'm using a lot of time um, using these techniques, because I'm using my time and my brain in a lot of other things. But I think when you are a dad, a parent, you always worry about your kids, right? No matter what. But I think we have some very nice and intelligent kids that it's not much to worry about. But you will always uh, be worried about if they what happened to them, how did they do, are they okay in school, and are
Mm.
they a little sick and everything, right? And that's just life. That is how it's gonna be. And um, I don't think I worry about
Are
many.
you are you worried to me when I say Rana is coming? The beautiful Rana is coming when I Because I
I'm not
always
able to.
siga. So sabi nita, ay my goodness. You know what, kasi when we starting this stream, I said to Tomas, oh my goodness, I feel nervous. Why are you nervous? I said, I don't know. And then there's someone here said, think positive always, looking unto Jesus and pray every day. Have faith in God because nothing is impossible to him. And then there's one as well here said, you have to learn to love yourself. Go outside, sit in the grass, hug a tree. When you can hug a tree and meditate and love yourself, you will then see the world differently and be forever more grateful. You always do meditation, right, Skin?
I don't do it as much as I want to do, but there is science who have proved that that meditation can make you more happy. So it is actually a very important thing. There's a done and there's done pretty many pretty much science about happiness, and it's actually quite what do you call that? What you could imagine it is, because it's if you are healthy, if you are running, if you're meditating, if you're eating right, then you will be more happy. So it's actually quite simple. Live a balanced life, and then you have at least the physical opportunities to be happy. But it have a lot to do if you're training your mind every day.
And avoid to the negative people. Am
Yeah,
I right?
negative people is when you do science on it, that
Uh-oh.
that if you are around a lot of what the people you are around will affect you. So if you are around a lot of negative people, you will be affected of that. If you are around a lot of happy people, you'll be affected of that. But you are a lot living up to the expectations, right? There is in the 70s they make a study with some school kids. They took a normal class of people. They test them. They're intelligent, and they were normal average people. Then they take 5 students out of this school class, normal students just picked out randomly. And there was this university professor who go to the teacher and says, I have figured out that these 5 kids is highly intelligent, and they will they will really be super students within the next year. And then this professor go home to his university, and he come back after 1 year. And the interesting thing about this study was that these 5 students have really improved super, as a really lot more than the other students. They were really getting a lot better because the teacher was expecting something of them, and that you call the Pygmalion effect. And
What?
that means the Pygmalion effect. And that just shows a little that if the people you are around, the people who expect something at you, you will probably live up to their expectations.
Mm. And then there's people said here, Sweet Nessie said, what is this Sweet Nessie? Oh, be grateful. Be grateful and thankful each day. Celebrate small and big success. And then there's also said here, Vinny said, can you say hi to? That's what I always said to my husband, Vinny. I always tell a story to my husband about Beanie Pads and Pants. That is why they call it disease. You're in a state in your mind in this is. Can you understand it? Can you see the live chat?
Mm, that is a lot of.
The one in the screen.
Yeah. Oh, there on the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You are in a state in your mind and this is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a.
Can you explain me that one? Sometimes Bini say a very deep words. That is why they call it disease. What we're talking now? Now maybe the okay. We can ask Bini about it again. This one he have say something new. This one. Meditate is fine, but if you can stay in a mindset of being grateful for the blessings you already have in quiet your mind, you have mastered life through Jesus.
Yeah, and I think you mastered your life then. mm, No matter if you believe in Jesus or Buddha or whatever it can be, just there you have find a way to happiness, and happiness, at least to try to obtain as much happiness as possible while you are here on this earth, must be one of the goals, at least as being a human being, to try to to be happy as much time as possible.
Yeah. And I don't know if guys, this question, I don't know actually if my husband or Jacob can answer this one. Do you believe in Jesus?
If I believe in Jesus,
Yeah. Because sorry, Denmark, they are a Protestant people. I'm a Catholic people, but my husband, he will answer what if he believe on that. Sorry.
yeah, and the Danish people is actually, I think we are one of the least religious people in the world. But yeah, I believe in something between um, God, Jesus, or Buddhism. Something between there, I think. Um, I think that's the closest I can come.
But if I gonna ask you, like, uh, because me and Jacob, even we have different what is that, religion or something, but we both believe in Jesus. We both believe that there's a God. That's why we know that we've been through to situation we like proven that he is there. So yeah. And then they said here, when you trust in him, God's mercy survives you. Oh, diba? Because there's a lot of people, we know some people that is like what can I oh sorry, what can you say about the people who not believe in Jesus? Do you think is wrong or just opinion, because you believe in Jesus, but what is your opinion about it?
Well, my opinion is that is their choice. I cannot see there's any problem that. I cannot see it's a problem if you believe in Muhammad or Allah, Buddha, or whatever it is that you believe in. That is your private. What you can say that there's your private.
Personal choice or
Yeah,
something.
and that is that other people gonna try to affect you and say that you're gonna believe in their fate. That is what have started most war in this world.
Yeah.
I really believe. I do not go to church, but I honestly believe in there is something bigger than us in this world, and I also believe in that we have responsibility for that bigger thing in this world to be good people and to try to always to learn and grow and be better. I think that is our responsibility. That is one of the meanings about life that we're gonna learn.
Because some people, for example, uh there's a lot of people like they always go to church, they always like pray, and then when they go out to the church, then they do wrong to other people or they do bad, which is not give any meaning. So sometimes it's much better like, okay, you not go to church but you don't do wrong to other people. That one, I guess, that gives meaning.
Yeah, you cannot use your faith as a free pass to being an asshole, right? You need to be good to other human beings. We really need to be nice to each other. Um, that is the only thing who give meaning in this world. So no matter what you believe in, you need to be nice to people.
Yeah. Or they said here, Vinny Pats and Pan said he believes in a God. You, that's you. They said, perfect. Man created religion and rules. God has not confined us with rules. He only asks of you as a person is to love. I think you always say that, like about this Bible thing, where the people just make it like they making it. Can you explain?
Yeah, we have a few very extreme churches here in Denmark, and they sometimes come and knock on our door and want to talk about the Bible. And
Oh.
I always think it's fun to
You
invite
always
them in.
provocate them actually
Nah, I am not try to provocate them. I just try
to make
um,
them smart or think what they actually doing. Can you
I,
explain it? Sorry.
I just try to say that the most important thing is to to be a good human being, to love other human beings. It cannot be what how you read it out of any book, no matter what book it is. Then the most important thing is that you can think of your mind, of course, that you're gonna be good to other human beings. That there's no doubt in my mind that if anyone can believe in there is a God in this world, it must be his meaning with this that you're gonna be nice to other human beings.
And then they said this one. Poor people, if you do not believe in Jesus, for my opinion, he said. That's what he opinion. And then there's one also here said, Honey Zen vlogs. Do you read the Bible?
I have read the Bible um, many times actually, but I'm not doing it anymore. I if you're gonna read the Bible, it must be that is super. If you do that and you find a way to live your life, and so that way, that's perfect. If you can find a way that make you happy, that make a lot of signs about that the people who have a belief have easier to come over sickness and so simply because you can find uh, faith and love and so through your belief. So belief can be very healthy.
Yeah, as long as it's positive or give a lot of positive way to you, something like that.
Yeah,
And then they said here, Vinny said, bless your husband. God is everywhere, not in some man-made money-making cult.
yeah, precisely.
Yeah, yeah, that's what the. There's a lot of like that. What is that?
You can say that if I remember right, I cannot quote it on English. I can quote it on Danish, but in the Bible that says that Jesus go there and he uh, look under a rock and he there's God. He break the wood and there is God, and so you find God everywhere. So you don't need to go into a church to show off that you have your
You believe.
faith. You can do it in your everyday life and what you are doing to other human beings, right? And
Yeah,
it's interesting to see that here in Denmark, we really don't have. Uh, there's not much religion, and religion do not have many effect in our everyday life. Um, So, and it's fun to see all these people here from all over the world that we can really see that religion is have so much to do with happiness for in many countries. It's an interesting differences there is because in Denmark you will talk a lot about how you psychology come to that point where you feel happy?
Yeah, I'm actually amazed here in Denmark. I said, "Wow, there's a lot of church here." And then when I try to go inside, there's not many people. And then their church is very simple compared to the Philippines church. There's a lot of beautiful stuff and everything. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
that's
so
because
amazed.
it's a Protestant church, right? So we have this. Was it in 1600 or something, right? Where you break up with the Catholic Church and make it the Protestant Church, because on that time the church was simply getting too rich. So there was a lot of poor people who not have anything and give all their money to the church, and that was not the meaning about the church, right? And therefore you make it very, very simple here in Denmark, because you said the church not gonna earn anything, priests gonna live poorly and give them money and to help the people who really need it. So
Yeah. And then uh there's a question also, this one to me. What you gonna do if you suddenly feel unhappy? I think we already talked about it. Maybe you have more idea about it.
yeah, you can say if you want to like change your life, there's there's a little technique here that in no matter what you want to do, how you want to change your life, I will try to explain this. It's a little very, very effective strategy. So if there's something you're not satisfied with, the only way you can change your life is actually see it as it is. That means that if you are gonna lose your weight, you're not gonna look at it with clothes on, right? You're gonna rip off all your clothes, stand in front of the mirror, and really look at how it is. Not worse than this, not better than this, but precisely as it is. Because that is the only way you can really can can make a difference, right? So the problem you have in your life, you're really gonna look at it as objective as possible. Really, no, not better, not worse, just precisely as it is. So when you have identified that and figure out, okay, this is um, this is my problem, this is what I want to change, then you're gonna find out what is it I want to change it to. What is it? How is it I really want it to be? Try really to imagine where is it you want to go. If there can be your economy, it can be your body, it can be your relationship, your kids, no matter what it is, look at it precisely as it is. Find out precisely what is it you want to end up to. And the first thing is, then you're gonna find out the strategy going from the point where it is now and precisely how it is, and to the point where you want to end up. It's that simple, actually, right? But many people go there and says, "Oh, I should maybe lose some weight, and I should also do this, but I will do that when I get next salary. Then I will buy these things or pay that bill or do this. Or yeah, I also gonna do something about the kids because they're behaving not as they should, and so. But you cannot just shoot, right? You need to
You
take
must act.
yeah, you need to take a decision and look at it precisely as it is, and then change it. But many people, when you're gonna change your life, or you're gonna go for um fulfill a dream, you you can look at it as if you're 60 years old woman and says the only way I can be happy on is if I get 5 kids, then you probably need to change your dream, because that
Yeah.
will probably not happen. So
Impossible to.
yeah, and then you'll be unhappy the rest of your life. So there you need to change your mind, your way of uh, what you believe that can make you happy. But if you are a 20 years old kid and says the only way I can be happy is if I get a smart car, then you should not change your belief. Then you should change the real world. Then you should go out and fight for it so you can buy that cool car. So you need to find out when you have this end goal, find out, is that something that is possible? So I can change the world, so I can achieve what I want, or is it something that is impossible? I mean, I can wish for that it will be 20 degrees tomorrow outside, but we are here in Denmark now. It is in January, so it will
Mhm.
be minus degrees, right? No matter how much I wish it. So I
Yes,
can
it
wake up
will not happen.
tomorrow and be very, very unhappy. Or I can change my mind and says, okay, I will just hope for that I can go out and have fun with my kids and my dog outside, right?
Oh,
And
me?
that is, yeah, and you, but you don't want to go out because it's cold, right? Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah. So it's a lot about that. Okay, so you change the real world to obtain what you want. Are you gonna change your mind because that is impossible to obtain? So that is there's something you really gonna think of.
Yeah. And then Vinny said here, God downloads his true word directly to your heart Bible. Like your DNA is unique to you. So is your personal Bible.
That's a very good way of saying it. That's really
Oh. And so interesting that you and Vinny or some of the people here can understand actually sometimes what you're talking, but sometimes I'm always what? But I'm trying, okay?
that's not something you're gonna brag about.
Oh yes. So that's how I talk to the people. As also told to the people that I'm very honest of what I'm saying. If I don't understand what they're saying, I always ask. But sometimes even I ask, I still don't understand it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good strategy. And I think
Good
one
strategy
thing,
that I don't understand what they're talking.
nah, but you're honest, right? And that's a
Yeah, I
good
don't want
thing.
to pretend that I understand and then I feel
That's the good thing about you, that you're not try to pretend something you are not. You are what you see is what you get, and that's a very nice. That's a very nice thing. That's a very good thing.
it's so hard to pretend to the people in the camera that you are not, and then suddenly like that's why when like for example when I'm gonna do live stream, I don't need to like super duper I don't know look so professional, which is I'm not. Sometimes I just wear or talk the way I am. It will be so hard if I will be like yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say in English again. And then they
But
said here, because if you read the Bible, you can believe the words of God because the words of God is like a sword. His words will pierce our hearts. Oh, diba? And then this one, Nick Pixel TV said, basically, he's saying, I just want to be with kids and dog. Rona, you stay inside.
never mind.
And then this one, Bini said, Rona has a rice Bible. Oh, yes. I actually said it to my husband that if he gonna buy me a gift, it's better like rice or foods or flowers. I'm so happy with that one.
I have tried to buy chocolate to you, and it's just lying around there, and you're never
And
eating
Yana
it.
eat it all.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I will buy rice next time.
Yes. Once we actually yeah. I super duper enjoy this so I must say are you what where are you on the point of your life now?
Where
Are you
I am,
happy? Super happy? Yes, I guess that's the right question.
I'm enormously happy, but I also for some years ago I was sitting in a little camper. I didn't have
When
a
I came here, yes, you know when yeah, can you tell that when I came here in Denmark? Yeah, sorry.
I was for some years ago sitting in a little camper. I didn't have a job. I didn't. I was weighing too much. I didn't have a girlfriend. I had this camper living there, and here in Denmark it's getting cold, and it's not super cool to living in a camper with my daughter. And I was sitting down there, and I took a decision. It says, "This is never gonna happen again. I'm gonna change this, and I want to be." I actually said to myself, I want to be one of the best photographers in Denmark. and I want to have a wife, and I was describing her very, very precisely, very details. And I was describing precisely how many money I want to earn, and so, and then I started, and I just started to change my body, my life, my career, everything. And I think ago, what, 3, 4 years after, I was standing filming the Danish Prime Minister, telling him how to walk, how to talk, how to act, and I have been married to you for some years already in that time. So it actually go very fast. But I was very, very what do you call that in English? Determined. I was really
Uh,
I must do this, and I was hitting rock bottom. Right. I was saying this is never gonna happen again, and that's what we started to talk about this. To whatever happened in your life, you need to give it a meaning, and what meaning you give it have a lot to do with what direction your life will go, and you need to give every thing that you experience, give it an empowering meaning. And me sitting there in the camper, I could have sit there and said, "Oh, it's so bad for me. Why am I so happy? Why am so everything goes wrong for me?" Right? But I was, instead of saying, "This is a proof that I'm gonna go from this point, and then I'm gonna fucking work my way up, um, and this gonna be a story I can tell, that I've worked myself from this to this point." And that was my motivation. And it happened. It was a uh, long fight.
yeah.
But
Although I feel now because it's no, it's just my husband normally he not open with that. Have we talked about that in one of our video that when because a lot of people think that when I just came here in Denmark because my husband is Danish and because he like have money or something like that, but they don't know that when I came here in Denmark, my husband actually Jacob that time he live in camper. That's where we live, and then a lot of people think that he's rich, and a lot of people judge me that Jacob is like because of his money. When I came here, my husband, Jacob, he actually don't have that big money, big houses, good work. It's just because I love him for who he is. And now that now he have a good work, we work really hard for that. That's why I always said to Jacob, it's so good to see from the start where we both begin like we live in camper, we go to apartment, and then we go to the house and something like I think that one we need to tell that story and how we end up like what we have now. Yeah, because a lot of people judge me or like thinking that after you because of the money that you have or the that because you're a Danish. Yeah. Yeah. The they said here, this is just the beginning. Rona will be a rock star soon, and your hubby will soon be expanding his reputation as one of the best around the world. Oh, diba? But do you believe, Sket, that I will I will be what is that? Grow my channel or I will be good in he always actually the one who motivate me to do something in my channel because for the previous days or months I've been like what I gonna do to my channel, what I gonna do to this, and then he always motivate me to do more, to do something to my channel. Yeah. What can you say about to the people who always who always think that I after your money or you're rich or your what is that? I don't know.
I mean,
People who judge me because it's so hard. It's so hard.
I mean,
That's the people don't know.
who is it you say who judged you?
Like a lot of people think before when I came here in Denmark, they think like because you're Danish or because I came here because.
Who is these lot of people?
The one, for example, in school before, in Danish school, something like that.
Do
I
you
cannot name them because it's
are
like
you around these people anymore?
not anymore.
So what does it matter?
Yeah, the video got. I on school. I'm speaking Danish. Yeah, you said that also.
It's really about, again, this we talked about earlier. What do you focus about? Right?
Yeah,
What do you use your
you
time
teach me a lot
focusing
of
about?
that.
What?
You teach me to be like positive, and you actually learn me a lot of stuff. That's why now I'm strong, and then try to always be positive. Not always try. I always do my best to positive and happy and something like
Yeah,
that.
and you cannot always be happy. There's this that's impossible, right? If you're always happy, that will probably be a disease in your brain. But you can hopefully be most of the time happy, and it's also okay to be angry sometimes. It's also okay to be sad sometimes, but it's just not gonna be the most of your life. The most of your life, you're gonna live happy, or at least try to train your body and your brain to be happy the most of the time. It's not a good life. This is not worth living. So you can train your brain in what we have talked about here today. Use some of these techniques. This will help. That that will help. Just a little thing like when you they've done a lot of studies on smiling. That if you smile every day, if you force yourself to smile, it will release drugs in your brain that will make you happy. So they have actually tried to cure depressions with just smiling. So forcing yourself to smile in the beginning will be like, this is really, but in the end, it will be something you're not thinking about, just a part of your personality, and but it will affect your brain.
Yeah, that's so true. And then Nick Pixel said here, uh, growing from bottom together. Yes, that's why you know what, we're so happy that. Do you remember Scat? We just live on that camp, and now we're here. It's always like a good feelings to look. Yeah. And then here, Honey Zen's vlog said, "Why a lot of foreigners want to be married a Filipino woman?"
Because they're the most beautiful in the world. Who is it who always win the world?
Miss Universe.
Yeah, Miss Universe, right? That is always Filipinos or some
Oh, so do you
up.
think you picked the right one? You need to answer. My goodness, I ask question
I'm
to
not.
you.
I was sitting here and say, yeah.
Oh my goodness, you need to validate that you have a. Oh my goodness, they have. Um, you guys just get ready to not give a shit what others think of you. That's what he always said to me, Vin. Are you
Yeah,
agree? Agree.
yeah. It's an interesting thing. I'm working every day a lot with politicians, and they really gonna hear a lot of shit in newspapers, in social medias, and so. And it's a balance, right? Because some of these negative comments you can learn from, and says, okay, maybe gonna change this. This is maybe right, and so, and 90% you're just gonna learn to be hard and don't give a damn. But it's difficult, right? It's difficult because it come very deep into us that we have learned from we living in small societies it was very important that people like us, because then we was a part of the group and then we survive. So that all these negative comments that politicians get in the social media, they really gonna train the brain not to affect on these things, because you cannot work as a politician.
You need to be a hardcore.
You need to be, yeah, pretty hardcore.
What can you say about this one? You said, I'm judged and bullied on YouTube. That's
So
what you warned me before when I start my channel. You need to be ready that a lot of people will hate you. That's what you
yeah,
said to me from the start.
and every time I says that you get this negative thumbs down thing, and so that is reaction. So you did something that was so effectful that people will use the time to push a button where thumbs go down. So you do something that affect people, um, and maybe it's not the reaction you want, but maybe it's also because you actually hitting something. And there's a lot of people who sitting and will wish they have the guts to do what your YouTubers out there doing. Um, and was able to doing and have be brave enough to do it, and therefore every time they see you doing something, they get reminded themselves on that they're not doing what they actually dream of doing, because they fear so many things. They fear to be judged, they fear to be to say things wrong, they fear to act wrongly, they fear to have this comment that's wrong, but you are doing it. And just think of that, people who writing to, who was it here, who get bullied on YouTube. Just think of that. Many of these negative comments is someone sitting in their underwear in their bed writing these comments to you, and actually
That's
you are the one who's sitting there and doing YouTube. So and so if people are using their time on watching you, even they don't like you, then you are really hitting something. Then you should continue, because if people just jump out of your YouTube film or live or whatever it is, then you should change something. But if you're hitting something and they come all these negative comments, then you're grabbing something. Then you maybe gotta find out how to change it to a more positive way, or hitting another audience that get more positive. But you are hitting something. People are investing feelings in you, and that is then you have grabbed something. But the one of the ways to change the many times when I hear people says, "Oh, I get all these negative comments," and so from some of the politicians says, "Okay, let's sit down and look what it really is." And then when I go through this, then they have 200 positive comments, and then they have 11 negative. And these 11 negative comments was what I fill up in their brain. This again, this is about focus, right? What do you focus on? And there will always be people who don't like you the moment you step up, like we do here today, or you step up on a stage or whatever it is, and open your mouth and says, "Look at me." Then there will be people that don't like you and think you are an idiot. And that's just how it is. No matter what you do, you will never be able to make everybody happy. And that you really gonna think of, and say to yourself, can I live with that? Can I live with that there will be people who don't like me? Because as you're not going to do YouTube, you're not going to stand up on the stage. There will be people who don't like you. So,
yeah.
sorry, one of the things, one of the ways to change the your understanding, when you feel negative, when you read these negative comments, is actually to try to imagine them when you read them in the most fun way you can. As a Look at them as you imagine the sitting this very fat guy in his underwear, and he have tips and everything down his body, and then he writing just negative comments to you. Or imagine that it's Donald Duck who sit and writing, and just repeat what he have written in Donald Duck's word, and try to put all these weird colors on, because every time you read a negative message, then your brain will put it in and will run these patterns where it says, "Oh, it's negative. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, that is horrible. I'm never gonna do YouTube." But if you if you train your brain to don't give a fuck, that is the way to read these comments. When you find one negative comment, you read it 10 times for yourself, where you make it more and more weird and funny. They're gonna be you're gonna you're gonna imagine there is this funny, weird clown music behind when you read it, and it's gonna be read with Mickey Mouse voice, and you're gonna imagine who writing it with the most weird clown costume on. Then your brain will be so. Every time you read a negative message, that will begin to play that music when you just do it enough time, and then you will think it's fun and will not affect you so much. You train your brain to 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 handle it, and then you just say, erase these negative comments, and if there's just hopefully there is more positive than negative. And again, if, as I said, is that negative, you at least hit something because people using their time on writing it.
Yeah, as I always said, at least I make them happy when they put thumbs down to my channel.
Yeah, and then you can say, oh, I help some people to release
Yeah.
some
If
anger.
that makes them happy, why not coconut donut? And then they have say here, Nick Pixel TV said, you get to choose what you give energy to.
Yeah, precisely. What do you focus on? What do you use your energy and your time to focus on? The more positive things you focus on, the more positive it will be. The more negative things you focus on, the more negative it will be. But I think human beings have a tendency to focus on all the negative things because we want to change it. We want to make a better life, a better world, make things better for ourselves, and that's a good energy. But we just gonna find a balance to say, okay, this is a shitty car. I want to have a better car. Okay, then don't bitch over it every day, right? Then you say, that's I gonna change because that's not what I want. I want to have a better car. Then go out and work for it. If you're just bitching over it every day, be negative over it every single day, but not do anything, that's the wrong pattern. That's where you go wrong. You need to say that, and you can, if you work on it, then it can be motivation. You sit out in that shitty car every day and say, "Oh, I'm really gonna fight for it. I'm really gonna change this." But if you sit out and just curse on it every single day without doing anything about it, that's not a good life.
They said, I always love Rana Vlog channel. Something about her very likable. Thank you, Ate Asi Lexi. And then Vinny said, Rana, soon God will validate you as the best in front of your haters. Thank you for believing me, Vinny. He always believed Rana Vlog. Thank you for that. And then Honey Jen's vlog said, always smile and be happy. You so beautiful. You see beautiful inside and outside. Oh, oh, guys, to those who saying that I'm beautiful, you know what? No, I'm teasing the people here. Like when they're gonna say Rona vlog beautiful, then they need to give super chat. Joke lang. And then my husband always said to me, don't always don't what you always that's he always put in my mind to when I for example I always start my joint botanic. And then my husband said, always
You're always
think what?
gonna give more than you take, right? You're always
Yeah.
gonna try to give more away than you take. That is the most important thing when you make content. I think it maybe in everything in life. Also, when you have a relationship, right? Where if you always if your first thing is to give, not to say, oh, he didn't do this or she didn't do this to me, right? But you always try to give, then you will get so much back again.
Yeah. And then Honey Jen's blog said, just ignore the people bullying you. Do your best in your channel to prove you're strong. And then this one here. Other
Yeah.
people doing thumbs down without telling something. Yes?
And I just want to say something because if you see people like Clint Eastwood, right? One of the most famous
Who's one?
Clint Eastwood, one of the most famous actors in the world, do all these westerns. When he started out and he gonna go to all these audition, people says, we can never use you. You're talking too slow. It's too weird. You have your Adam's apple is too show. You can see too much of it. You will never be an actor. But he continue and continue and continue. Then he get very very big actor, right? When Beatles started, they're sending in all these tapes, and they always get this answer back that, oh, Beatles is a stupid name, and guitar groups that is that's not trending right now. It's pretty wrong. When you see what you call the J.K. Rowling, who write the Harry Potter, she sent this book to 12 what do you call that? These who make the books. What do you call that in English? Publishing, right? Publishing firms. 12 of them denied to publish Harry Potter. I think if I'm sitting there and I had denied that and see what success it is today, I think, maybe I should do something else today, right? But she continues sending it. She's not just dropping out. And today it's a huge success. So maybe someone bullying you, something you have a hard time. One day you will be able to sit and says, when I started out, there was so much hate, and I just continue. I fight it. I change it. I keep on changing it until I find the right recipe to make this perfect YouTube. It's a hard struggle, and it's a hard struggle to make a success, no matter what success you're gonna be, what success you're gonna do. And if it was not a hard struggle, then everybody will do it. It's difficult to do, but it's in if you can find motivation in all these hard things, in all these hard comments to say, I'm gonna prove them wrong, then you have the recipe for success. Continue until you're ending where you want to be.
Yeah, there's someone said here, I love Clint Eastwood. He is magnificent in his attitudes and life perspective. And then Nick Pixel TV said, it's hard for many to see the vision that one has until the picture is painted. It's the hard work that's often overlooked.
Very,
Wow,
very
I have a many very intelligent viewers. Sometimes I feel. And then there's one here, Beanie said, when you try to please everyone, you please no one. Eventually, you will sift through the shit to get your gold. What?
very right.
I want gold. What is? Can you explain a little bit?
You cannot please everyone. If you
Yeah,
try
I
to
understand that
please
one. The last word.
everyone,
Listen.
what do you mean? I mean,
That-
if you're
eh,
gonna up to getting your gold and then you need to find who are the true one inside you, and you're gonna as I said, maybe you need to change something to try to find out what is the right way to go here. But if you continue and you believe in that you want to do this, no matter what, are gonna find a way to do this, then you will end up being a success, right? And as, it's the same like if you're gonna how many times will you try to learn your kid to tie the shoes, right? You'll continue until you learn them. How many times you try to learn them to talk before you give up? You will never. You will just continue until they learn. That is the magic formula. You're just gonna continue until you reach your goal. But the problem can be that many people don't know what the goal is, and if you don't know what the goal is,
I know
um,
gold.
then it can be difficult to reach, because then you will just continue, and don't know what way you will go. It is like going out in the airport, going on vacation. Just say, "Give me the first flight out of here," and then you're ending up on Iceland when you want to have a vacation where you can bathe, right? So you need to know where you want to go. What is it you want in life? And many people, when you ask them, says, "What do you want in life?" They says, "I don't know." Then you cannot get it. If you don't know what you want to do, what you want to get, then it's very, very difficult to go there. Then you will just go in all kind of directions. And if you have a goal, then you will maybe you will get some detours, but you will at least go some of the direction. I just have a dog here who's
Hi, Luki. Luki. We're doing a professional live. Maybe he's agree. Yeah, right. You're right. Oh, there is a yep. Let the negative become positive. But let it drive you to achieve your goal. But be sure to do it without hurting others. That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
And then said, success is not material, but once you find the way to improvement, it is best with integrity and confidence, not listening to any crap out there. Agree.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
you can see that all the big actors or singers and authors and so in the world have go through a lot of crap, right? And there's only if you continue that you will ending up a success. Giving up, then you're sure that you'll not be a success.
yeah. They say here, negative voices are actually the most important part of learning. Without them, you won't discover who you are and what you can. You will find out if you are a quitter or a champion. My motto. That's a motto of Rochelle. Wow.
Super good, very good.
Super duper good. And then Vinny said, Rana, you need to feel the hate to understand the love.
Yeah, because if you not have the contrast in the world, then you will not feel any feelings, right? Then will all just be one gray thing. If you have the ups and downs, that is, I mean, when I sitting in that camp, I hit the bottom, and that's very very good because when you hit the bottom, it says never again. From now on, I'm changing this. This will never ever happen again. Then you are changing your life, right? There's
Mm.
this saying that you for changing your life, you either need desperation or inspiration, right? And the desperation is normally where you make the biggest changing when you says never again from now on I quit, right? then then it's the normal way you really change your life. But I think
Yeah.
many people have problems with really taking a real decision. You really gonna when we just have new year and everybody have this new year resolution where say I will try to do because trying to do that will not
That will
change.
happen.
You
What should
said
be it,
I
so?
will do this now, right?
But do you have a, what is that called? Do you believe like that New Year resolution? Do you have like that New Year resolution?
If I have what?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I am. I have worked very, very much the last 3 years, so I can see I have not done enough to my body. I've gained fat, so that is really one of the things that I'm gonna change in the new year.
You always
Um,
tell me that it's unfair that me I eat a lot of rice and always
you,
eat a lot
you
of
are eating a lot of chips and rice and fatty food, and you are not moving a pinky finger to do any exercise, and you are thin like I don't know what. It is so unfair. Um, yeah, I really need to change something to my body, and that's the fun thing because in life when you then you will concentrate, focus on your work, and you get very, very good in your work. But then your body have a problem. Then you concentrate on your body. Then you probably have some in your family. So you're gonna concentrate on your family. Then you have something else who change. That is always going up and down, and you're just gonna try to. It's impossible to focus on all areas on the same time, but you need to try to make it a little equal because then your life will run easier, right? It's
yeah.
very very clear to see and the people who don't do something about their body, and you it's very clear to see people who have other standards, have other rituals to do. A man who stand 3 hours every day down in a fitness center, you can see it on him, and then you can say maybe he not focus on other parts that also is important, but he have a beautiful body now, right? So you're gonna try to focus as many parts of your life as possible, right? It's
Yeah.
difficult. That's how life is.
Rochelle said, people who mostly hate are the ones who feel undefined within themselves due to the voices that have been implanted on them. To face them is to not respond like them, else they will feed and eat you.
Yeah.
And then there's one more here. Hate mostly comes out of not having something that some have. And sometimes we are the reason why they feel that because we sometimes intimidated in a negative way. Yeah, that's true. That's what we're like talking. That's like what I said. At least I make them happy when they put thumbs down to my channel. Mm, yeah.
Most of these things happen out of fear, and fear for actually doing what you want to do, fear of not being enough, fear for being judged, fear for uh, actually being a success and things and not be able to handle it. And so there's so many people who handle out of fear instead of trying and see if it really can last. If you really are able to doing what they're dreaming about, then they're too fearful to actually jump out and do it. So they're just afraid, and then they ending up sitting and writing hate messages to all of you YouTubers.
That's the reason because I that's the in YouTube that's the reason also why I don't have a like as in like a members, like for example Rona blog members, because I don't want a complicated situation where I always feel bad like when people said, "Oh, you support I support you, you not support me," something like that. There's a lot of like not contented. They said here, Rana, most people buy things they don't need to impress people that they hate. What do you mean about this, kid? Rana, most people buy things they don't need to impress people that they hate.
Yeah, it's like this.
Who buy me Louis Vuittons?
Is it
And
not?
then I said to Jacob, when you buy me Louis Vuitton, you need to put it back in the shop because I really don't need
Not
that.
Gary Vaynerchuk was this that people buy cars to impress people that that they actually don't like to be to it. And I think that's very very true. That many people use a lot of times to try to impress people that they don't even they actually don't like, and that is just plain stupid.
Yeah. Like a lot of people is try to impress themselves by buying all this expensive stuff. Uh, just to like they are not confident to themselves, and that's how they show themselves that they have something. That's what we're always talking. Oh wow, we have a super chat skit, and then she said, "This is the most intellectual conversation I've ever heard in your stream, and I'm glad to hear the insights from your husband. You are well lit, Rona. Fortunate. I thank you po. Yes, we actually thinking to do this like every Saturday because me and Jacob talking about I want to do something change to my channel where people will search Rona vlog because actually it's Jacob's opinion. It's Jacob's opinion where he said it's always better like they're gonna search Rona vlog because like every Saturday Rona vlog and her husband do this live stream. Then I something like can you explain, Skit? It's hard for me, man. Uy.
The idea is that you see many people who make contents that that's just small parts of things. But why is it that there's TV programs that success? We probably all have one TV program that we love to see, that we know when it come every Wednesday, and we know how long it takes, and we know precisely what we get, and we look forward to seeing it. The reason we do that is because they're hitting something on us, and we that's something that interesting us. So we going to that channel to see that, and it doesn't matter if you go on one channel, another channel, or on YouTube. But if you make content that is so interesting that people not just that they're seeking it, they're not just seeing in their feed, but they actually go there every Wednesday or every Saturday when it comes to see that content. um, that is the strategy, that you're gonna make something that is so good and so interesting. You know when it come, you know how long it takes, so you go there on that specific time seeking that content.
And thank you for that because my husband actually he's very good photographer and videographer, but he's actually not like very good in uh, what is that talking to yourself because he's like Look at me. He don't want like that. That's why you not always see him often to my vlog because he's not a private person, but it's like see, I don't explain again.
Now,
Explain.
I have, when I was very young, I was actually educated as circus artist, and I was traveling around with circus. And I learned, for me to see, if I sit down and says, now I gonna step up and see, look at me, then I gonna have something to give. If I don't have something to give, I will never sit down in front of the camera. I i believe in that I have something to give here, because that is something I have used a lot of time on studying this part. I will not just sit down and talk around, because I will always want to have something to give, if I ask people to look my way.
Nick Pixel said here, no doubt. I wish I was on this stream. Lol, this is epic. And then Vinny, we love all caps. I don't have problem actually of all the caps or emojis because it's not actually fast. And Jacob also when he write, he always like reading. What is that? Writing caps. I don't have actually problem with that one. And then drawn a vlog. What is that?
You should invite more people in here then.
Yes, maybe. You know what? We actually gonna plan it. Like for example, like a panel where I will be in the background. Because I don't think I can be on the conversation with all that knowledge. I feel like, what? I don't want to be like a stupid. Maybe like for example to these people like who know how to talk like the way you talked as well. That will be so good. We just gonna need a break. Not a break. I just want to say this for our super duper chatters. Kita, just a minute. This one super duper. Thank you. Yeah. What have you do, Sket? Have you danced?
No, I'll cough.
Okay. They said, I love the way this conversation is going. It's intellectual and it made me alive in the midnight. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much po. And then, this one. I think fear is the human nature. We need to conquer because it transformed to many other negativity. It become envy, then become hate, then become anger. But like I said, negative should be turned to positive.
Yeah, but we also not never gonna forget that fear is something that helps us, right? It comes a whole way back from some evolutionary thing where the human beings who see the grass moving and get afraid and run back to the village, that was the one who not get eaten by the lion, right? So fear helps us when we go down to a dark alley, what do you call it in English, a dark street, and you see a gang with pistols. Then you should be afraid, right? And says, "Oh, I think I go another way," right? Or if you see a snake in your living room, you should be afraid. So fear is also good. The problem is just that many times, as the guy here writing, totally right, that fear sometimes serve us negatively, and um, yeah, every time we do something in our life, we either do it to try to get away from pain or to gain pleasure. Every movement, everything we do is out of these two things. And when we realize that, why are we actually doing things, we sometimes can also come out of the fear.
Yeah. And then they said here, the rights way said, I agree, but versatility is much more important in this ever changing platform of YouTube. And then Rochelle said, Rana, vlog, you will also practice your English skills to be developed with Jacob. Plus, we hear his. Can you explain that, Skit? I really ask. Language is my very good strength.
Yeah, you have your trouble, but then it's fun that you're doing YouTube where you sit and talk, right? But I think you many times you're hitting it with your charm, right? So you're smiling and laughing and you're charming. So it doesn't matter if you're not uh, know everything. I'm me too. You can hear I'm tumbling around in the words. I have a very bad accent and so, but hopefully, hopefully that some of these things that I have used so many years on studying, if just some of it give meaning to someone that can use it to change a little thing or get just a little better life, then it's worth it all sitting here and try to on my really really bad English.
See, my husband is distractive when I do like this.
I
He said,
cannot.
"Who is charming me? Run a vlog."
I'm not looking at you because I'm looking up at the camera, right? So I cannot
Wow!
see you.
Suddenly said it in front of the camera. You're not looking at me. My goodness.
I mean, I cannot look at. If I look down, you will sit like this. That is not very uh, good view. Right? You want to look up there.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you know what, guys? I'm actually, I'm actually already accepted it that I'm not very good in any language. Danish, Tagalog, Danish. That's why when I'm speaking in my live stream, my own live stream, I always fuck off.
But we talked about before, right? That if you want to change something, you're gonna look at it as it is, not worse, not better, but as precisely as it is.
Yeah,
Therefore, you can
like
change
this.
it.
Not
You
very
cannot
good.
you cannot change something if you look at better. You cannot. It's difficult to change, make real change if you look at worse than it is, right? You need to look at it as it is.
They say, Decno Lodi said, like I said, negative feeling can be turned to positive. The only rule, you can do anything as long as it will not hurt yourself or anybody.
Yeah.
And then, which one? Nick Pixel TV said, we should host a stream together, Jacob. Has a great vision.
Hmm?
Ah, di ba? Yes, we're gonna talk about it. Like, for example, if my husband is open, for example, to those who wants to be panel with with Jacob, not Rona Vlog, Jacob, and for example, Nick Pixel TV, we're gonna set a time to that one.
Hmm?
And then yeah, that will be so great. And then uh what were fear? Where is that the right way? The right way. The right way. Just a minute, ah. Fear is a part of life. No matter if you want it or not. So deal with it.
You can say if you don't have fear, you will probably die pretty fast, right? When you go to the zoo and crawling into the lions or something, right? Or uh, setting fire to yourself because you're not afraid. Fear is a very healthy thing. The problem can be also that sometimes we learn to fear something that is wrong. If you see, um, I can see when I was a child, my brother fall down a rolling chair stairs, right, in the shopping mall, and then he get afraid of the rolling stairs because he hit himself. So now probably all rolling stairs was dangerous. So he made a wrong fear, and that what many people do, right? That oh, they have a one bad experience of talking in front of other people, so now they don't have the courage to do a live stream or to do YouTube, and we make many times negative or wrong what do you call that, perceptions, wrong understandings on what's actually good or bad for us, what we really should fear, uh, what we just have one bad experience.
This one here, they said, Uh, In all development, fear is one foundation to make you come to senses and be profound in life. Either way, negative fear can hinder you to become a better person each day. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And the same with our feelings, right? Feelings is feelings and senses, and so is telling us something. And when we have when we feel sad, that is a reason for that, and we should find out, okay, not just pressure that down, but actually see, oh, why do I feel sad? Okay, and therefore after that learn to correct it or to change it, so you can not feel sad always, right? But feelings is important, right? When you feel pain, there's a good reason for that. If you put your hand on a hot plate, and so it's pretty good to learn. So okay, now I have pain, that I should not do this again. So when you feel sad of something, okay, I should not do this again. The problem is just when people have a relationship and they get left by someone, then they feel so much pain. They say, I can never be together with a man, I can never be together with a woman again, because they feel so much pain. That's wrong. That's just part of life. Is see, like uh, the pain will be so little, but the pressure will be so big. So you need to also figure out what is hindering you for getting a good life, and what is actually just feelings that shows, okay, this was wrong, do it a little different.
Yeah. And then Venus said here, when in your time here on earth and you graduate to walk with God, you fear nothing. So, to those who fear, go back to school.
Yeah.
What are you fear?
Sometimes it is just to stand up in front of your class again and do this mathematic that you was terrible failing on one time. And when you stand there again as a grown up and says, "Oh, it's actually not that bad. So what? I cannot figure out this mathematic, even I get grown up or something." That is not the important part, right? And you feel that people laughing at you, and when you're grown up, you figure out, they were not laughing at me; they were just laughing at the whole situation. Many times we make wrong perceptions of what actually to fear.
They said it, but I fear my school. Look. How about you? Are you fear to your school before?
I was not fear. I was really bored by it. I hated school when I was a child, and I was very. I'm born where I use mostly the creative part of the brain, and therefore schools was really not me. And I remember I have a teacher who was really horrible to me, and today I really thank her, because she is the reason that I have come that far that I am. That I'm today working with the uh, prime ministers and all the big companies here in Denmark, earning a lot of money, and so because that one teacher was treating me as I was stupid, and I was like, I gonna prove that she's wrong. I really gonna be someone, and I really wish that I one day meet her again, just to show that she was really mean, but that was my motivation to show what I really was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my speaking of school, it's just I want to share. One night, Yana, 'cause now it's not related to the topic. It's just one night, Yana come to me, not to Jacob. Normally, our two kids they always come to Jacob ask for help or something. But last night, Yana come to me ask help to her homework. Woohoo! Mathematics. I'm so proud of that. And then Vinny said, it's just I cannot click this one. Vinny said, fear is a feeling that does not come from God. So you suggested it. If you're fearing in life, you need to shake off those evil demons. Ah, I cannot click this one in my StreamYard. I don't know what's going on to my StreamYard. That one. Have you get it, Sket?
Yeah, but the interesting part is if you read the part of the Bible where what do you call it, Job's book, right? Where God actually tried to put Job on a lot of channels, and right to try to see if he's still believing. Um, there you should fear God because he really get through some horrible things, right? Uh, so yeah, there's there's many aspects in this, right? But I think fear in our normal daily life treat us well, but we just sometimes make false understandings on what fear, uh, when we what kind of fear we can use and what we cannot use. So
Yeah. And then they said here, actually, that was right even here in the Philippines. It is believed the teacher is our second parents. Yes, that's why they're like, when we go to school, I'm your second parents. That's what they always do.
I really didn't hope that my teacher was my second parent. That was terrible.
Terrible parent. Um, uh, how about what is your boogeyman? What is this one? Vinny said. Yes, we all are God fearing. Humans here are speaking of the boogeyman fear. Lul. What is boogeyman?
That is the ghost behind your door or the terrible creature under your bed, right?
What? I thought the boogeyman, boogeyman, the one who does. Sorry. How about now we actually, you know what, guys, we're actually just planning to make it like 1 hour live stream, and we're so happy to the feedback of this first live stream we did. We're super duper happy, and to our super duper chatters, thank you to those people who like be on this conversation. Thank you as well. And then, are you open with like Nick Pixel said that maybe they will be like in your panel, like you two, like talking. Are you open with that?
That's super. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you just need to ano. We will try to make it like every like Saturday 11 p.m. if we can, so that USA is still awake. Still like afternoon, Europe midnight, and then Philippines they are early in the morning. So yeah. So thank you so much to everybody. Do you have more something to say, Sket?
No, that was really fun.
Yeah, we're actually enjoy this one. I hope and maybe you can I will post it in my community. Maybe you can give some idea what we can talk again next Saturday so that we can be talk this one. And thank you everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sket. Thank you for this live stream. I super duper enjoy it. And thank you everybody. Thank you so much, Chad. See you. Bye-bye. Good night. Just a bit, I would end.